Hi, Bizzy here. Be love, be light, believe. Thank you for joining me here today on the Bizzy Show. My adventure brought us to a cliff today with an awesome view, so I thought I'd share that with you. Let's first begin by taking a few deep breaths and get centered. Get grounded. If you're somewhere where you can take your shoes off, that'd be great. If not, imagine your feet, feel your feet touching the ground through your shoes, if you can, while you breathe. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Going to use the Tibetan singing bowl to get in tune with source energy and to see if there are any messages for me to channel or speak about today. Hear that bird? It's back there somewhere. Nature is always speaking to us. Always. With all of the chaos going on in the world right now, one thing that remains consistent in its own chaos is nature. And it can be quite alarming, all of the things going on and how it's messing with your mindset. So if you can go outside and be somewhere as quiet as possible, though there will always be obvious sounds of man's interference in nature in many places. Yet at the same time, being in nature like where I am right now, despite the fact that there's background sound of cars and trucks, it's still quiet. I can still hear the sound of some kind of bug singing a song. I can hear a faint sound of the water sound of the river down below, underneath the sound of the car. So nature stuff is still there. Anyway, I'm trying to get comfortable. I am sitting on a cliff. I'm having one of those days where I didn't know what to do first. I got really overwhelmed with my to-do list. So since exercise is on the to-do list, I decided to combo that with a hike instead of my normal walk, and I feel a lot better. That's for sure. The heaviness and the transition of all of the things going on right now is a bit overwhelming, and I find that it's overwhelming for a majority of us out there. There are a lot of things being put into place to enforce control. Or else using fear to manipulate and coerce people and to divide people. And I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, I saw a much more peaceful future, not what's been presented to us here in these days. And as I sit here today speaking to you, I want to talk about how mindset is everything. If you find yourself stressed and overwhelmed, stop. Take a deep breath. Take another deep breath. Take a third deep breath. Pause. Count to 10 or 15 or 20 if that helps. The important thing to do, though, when everything sort of just feels like it's blah, is to stop, pause, and breathe. Then think about what self-talk is going on in your mind. Are you stuck in a negative self-talk loop because you're afraid, or because you're angry, or because you're confused, frustrated, whatever the negative emotion is. It's time to sit with your negative emotion, recognize what you feel, and then ask yourself, is whatever the thing is that's causing me to feel this way in my control? If it's not in your control, release it. Many of the things that are going on in the world aren't actually in our direct control per se, other than our mindset and the way that we think about what's going on. So, if something, however, is in your control and there's something you can do about it to make a change or take a step towards a solution, then definitely do that. You want to focus your energy on anything that moves you forward and anything that will help you alleviate those negative emotions if it's in your control. Back to all the other things going on that aren't in your control. You can control your mindset about the outside things. You can say affirmations. Remind yourself that you are alive today. You've been given another day. You are breathing. If you're listening to this video, you're hearing. If you are watching this video with subtitles, you can see. Be grateful for those senses that were God given to you. They're gifts. If you can feel your toes, feel your fingers, and your body parts, be grateful. If you can smell and taste and eat foods, be grateful. We were given all of these senses for experience, to experience life here on Earth. Don't take your senses for granted, because some people don't have all of their senses. Some people lose body parts, and some people lose their senses, or they have to adapt in a way that most of us don't. So if you do have all 5 of them, be grateful. Now that we're talking about the senses, all of those things that aren't in your control, but if you're focusing on your eyes, what do you see? Focusing on your ears, what do you hear? Focusing on your sense of touch, what can you feel? Focus on your sense of smell. It's starting to smell like fall and autumn in the air. What can you taste? What kind of foods have you eaten, or are you planning on eating today, or currently eating? As you're watching this, that's possible too. Be grateful. If you focus on your 5 senses throughout your day, it helps you be present. You might not always be able to get out and go for a walk. You might not always be able to take a long lunch break or dedicate time to going away from your normal routine. However, your senses are always with you, so whenever you're overwhelmed or frustrated or angry or confused, focus on your senses. it will bring you back to your center and help reground you. Quick. It's a quick solution. Now, if you've got the time, definitely go outside, go see something, find a new place to go. Change it up. They say that, well, it's more of like a pretty general, obvious statement that change is the only thing that's consistent. Nothing is ever going to stay the same. Nothing will ever happen the way it happened before. Exactly. There's always change. And when you embrace change and you strive for a life where you encourage change, where you take a different route to work or take a different route home, merely for the sake of changing it up, breaking the routine and the monotony. It makes life a little more exciting, even if it's just 5 more minutes added to your drive. Sometimes it's worth it. Sometimes you don't even know what you might see or run into that you otherwise would have missed had you gone the regular way home. Sometimes the simple things, the simple changes that you make in your life can be magnified in an energetic way. Since everything is energy and energy is everything, it's all about frequency. What kind of frequency do you want your mindset to have? Do you want to be stuck in the dumps and worried about what they're telling you to do? How our society is socially collapsing? Everyone's fighting. Everyone thinks they're right and others are wrong. People are divided. People are scared. People are worried about the future. So you have a choice. You can feed into what's being presented to you in an energetic way and continue to fuel negative, lower vibrational emotions, or you can work through your emotions, deal with them, figure out a way to transmute them and raise your vibration and change the mindset for you. And as you change your own mindset, it will be contagious to those around you. Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with this or that, and I feel change is imminent in our society, and there are a lot of things going on good right now also because of the turmoil. People are banding together and speaking up for themselves and their rights, and it's only a matter of time before things will shift, things will get better. It can happen faster than some of the people might think. Change is imminent. The more people who believe in a better, brighter future for everyone on the planet, the faster it will occur. All of these things that are falling apart and being brought to light, it's all happening so that the old ways will break down, and we will build new, moral, equal rights ways to live in this society. I like to think about life like a tree, or if I was a tree. Say I'm a tree living here on this cliff, right? I don't argue with the tree 500 miles away about how much sunlight I'm gonna ingest today, or how much oxygen, well, trees take in the carbon dioxide and turn it into oxygen. But there's not some tree somewhere else bossing this tree around. The tree just exists because it is a tree. If people approached life this way, where we focused more on our beingness and our natural existence, instead of keeping up with others or following blindly without individual thinking, maybe those changes and shifts we need to occur would happen quicker. I spend so much time with the trees. Sometimes I wish I was one. At least I would be able to exist in peace. This monetary system that man has created, and this human existence that we find ourselves living in, it's like a giant game of Monopoly. It's a game. And people aren't meant to be pawns in someone else's game. Existence has much more meaning and creativeness than many would believe. Anytime you create something, no matter what it is, a drawing, journal entry, writing a sentence or two, making a video, playing music, painting, building, dancing, whatever it is that you're creating, you help raise the frequency of the planet. There are enough of us here now during this time in the world. And we have technology to help us communicate with one another that we can band together. We can encourage each individual to be who they're meant to be based on what feeds their soul. Instead of people trying to fit into some mold of some game that was made up and has evolved into this nonsense mess that is going on right now. It's nonsense. We've been poisoned. We've been poisoned through the media. They poison our foods. We've been poisoned with our skin and hair products. It's one big giant lab rat experiment. Anyway, I know that I can't control all that nonsense that's outside of myself, but I can sit here and I can be joyful and jolly in my beingness while I observe this beautiful scenery and spend time sitting with some trees. And it feels good. Connect with nature whenever you get a chance, however you can. The more people that do, the better for everyone. Spend time in prayer. You may not have to believe in what someone else believes. The important thing is to just know that you as an individual are much smaller than the whole collective. Yet at the same time, you are the collective. We are one and the same, together. All of us. Kindness and compassion go a long way. That's all I've got to say today. Thank you for joining me here on the Bizzy Show. Have a great day. Be love, be light, believe.